Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Morning.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Looks like we're a majority here.
Well, we still have a minute, so no one gets on too early, so you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of empty space there now.
So do you have the two scripts that we sent over?
The objection handler and the 13 reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, I just actually printed them off.
Okay. So
Yeah, I was just going to ask you which scripts we're going to do because I got them all.
So we're going to use both of them simultaneously, and then we're going to talk about how to kind of use those.
Okay.
And I kind of typed up this little bit of a script to kind of help us. So if you, I was going to take my camera off. I had some cancer taken off my forehead, so I have a hat on today. Where's my thing? No, I can't find my, because I screen shared, I can't, oh, there's my video thing.
When did you come over from Everest?
So I brokered that Centerville office and they shut down Centerville.
Oh, did they?
They wanted all of us to go to Union Park, and I live out in Centerville, and I just didn't want to travel to Union Park every day.
Can't blame you.
So I decided to make the move. So I'm glad to be here.
Cool.
How long have you been at REMAX?
About 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, I just come over this. I was with them about 5-6 years ago, and then I went to Realty Path, but I decided to come back.
Awesome. That's great. Hello, Don. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Do you have the two scripts that we sent out on the role play?
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. So the one that I have, can you guys see that on the screen?
What's that?
Can you see the script on the screen?
No.
I just see a list.
Oh, you can't see that on the screen?
No, it's just showing your a list of documents.
Really? Okay.
You got script holiday spring contingency highlighted.
Well, shoot. Did that do anything?
Yeah, there's some there now.
Okay. So I did the script just to kind of help us with those two papers that were sent out on the, that were attached to the bulletin. So if you look at the page that says 12 ways to handle the objection, these are just different ways different reasons to give our sellers as to why it's a great time to sell during the winter months, before the first of the year, before spring. And then the next page that says, oh, sorry, I'm backwards. 13 reasons are the reasons why we want to sell before the first of the year, before spring. And then the next page are 12 ways to handle the objection. So this is kind of like a little bit of a script. So if you pull out your script that says 12 ways to handle the objection. So for instance, Dawn, since you've been on here before, if the seller were to say to you, I want to wait until the first of the year, and you take number one, like my script here, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I can appreciate that you were waiting. What's important to you about waiting, which is kind of number one on this 12 ways to handle. And let's say the seller says to you something along the lines of, I've heard that there's not buyers, I'm not gonna get as much home during the winter, it's just a bad time to sell, right, during the winter time. So we're gonna use one of these objection handlers, or we're gonna use one of the 13 reasons, right? So I might go to, maybe I'm trying to see what they've been told, right? They're not giving me a lot of information, so I might use number 3. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you aware of the benefit? I'm using their name, right? I know their name's John or Sue, right? But I'm just having Mr. and Mrs. Seller. John, are you aware of the benefits of having your home on the market during the winter? Right? I want to make sure that I'm presenting them with the information, because I don't want some other agent coming in before the first of the year and giving them this information, and then I call them back in January and they've already sold, and I have no idea why they sold, why they didn't call me, right? If you look at number 4, and it says, let's confirm, you told me you had to be in a certain place at a certain time. And the reason why that objection or that handler is there is, let's say they need to be somewhere by the end of the year, or they need to be somewhere before spring, and they're telling you they want to hold off. So you want to find out, is there something going on here where the husband still has to be there, or the wife still has to be there, but the other spouse is hanging back with the kids because they feel like it's not a good time to sell.
Got to play on the pain, right?
Exactly. So we want to be able to pull that objection. We want to know, is there a condition or is it an objection that's going on as to why they're not going to sell during the winter months? So we find out that, wife's staying back, husband's actually moving on. So, tell me what's important to you about waiting until the first of the year, so that they explain to us what's going on, so that we can tell them, are you aware that there's less homes on the market? There's less competition. There's all kinds of relocation buyers and people buying for tax reasons by the end of the year. It's actually a benefit for you guys to keep your home on the market, especially with the market changing so fast. Would you rather sell your home now? This is number, it's one of the last ones on number 13, or no, sorry, on the 12 ways, on number 12. Wouldn't you rather sell your home now where there's less competition versus waiting until the first of the year or spring when the market gets a lot more flooded with homes? And I love number 5 on 12. Are you familiar? If they say something like, we feel like it's not a good time. Number 5 is perfect. Are you familiar with the law, or I would say the law of economics, but are you familiar with supply and demand, how supply and demand works? By waiting, you will be doing exactly what the rest of the competition is doing. May I explain? So explaining that when low inventory, you get higher price, right? When the inventory goes up in the spring, your price is actually going to go down. And that's a perfect one, number 5, to help them understand that it's actually a great time. And then after that closing, doesn't it make sense that we meet for 30 minutes and make sure that by selling now, we're not putting more money in your pocket? Are you available this time or this time, right? So getting them the information and then closing to go meet with them and making sure that, that they're getting all the information, and not some other agent isn't swooping in, and then you don't know at the first of the year when you give them that call back, you're going, well, why did they list? Why didn't they call me? I have no idea why they went with somebody else. They said they were going to wait, right? So let's start.
Let me hit you with one. Okay,
Yes.
I got family coming in for the holidays, and I don't want people traipsing through my house for showings during Christmas.
Jim, I can completely appreciate, because I would feel exactly the same way as you. And can I tell you that you can block out, when you have family over or you're having that Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, we can absolutely block out those times. But let me ask you, during the winter months, do you think that non-serious people are out looking in the snow when it's cold? Or do you think there's only serious people that are buying homes looking during the winter time?
That's a good one.
So would you
So I had
rather,
one, I had one pop into my head too. It's like, when your house is all decorated, it shows better than it probably ever will.
yeah, and those are all on here. So that's why I say there's some really great stuff on here. And you can use all of those, on this as you're talking with people. And then again, like if you're trying to like ask those questions to see if they're still motivated, like the number 2 is a great question. If I were to sell your home in the next 30, 60 days, would it pose a problem for you? Just to kind of get out if they're still motivated, right?
Mhm.
So these are, again, they're just questions. They're just things that will bring out like what's really going on. Do they have all the information so that they, so some other agent doesn't swoop in and they're going, well, why didn't Jim tell me this stuff? Like, maybe we should go with this other person, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important. So we'll kind of like just kind of weave through this. Who wants to go first?
Go, I will.
Okay, so Jim, will you be his seller that wants to wait until the first of the year?
Sure.
So you're gonna start it out, Jim, and just tell Dawn that you wanna wait until the first of the year. And Dawn, you can handle it however you want. And then Jim kind of just give him a reason and we'll just kind of plow our way through.
Okay, which one are we just gonna go right down the list here?
So yeah, so what you're gonna do, you can use the script off to the end of the screen. Or you can just go down, you can just use number 1. And then as he says things, like if he says something, you can use like number 5 to answer it. Or you can ask another question and use one of these other things to kind of get him to that point where you can set an appointment.
Okay. Yeah, Dawn, I'd like to wait till after the holidays.
Yeah, Jim, I can appreciate that. What's important to you about waiting till that time frame?
I just don't want people come through my house in the holidays.
Okay, I can understand that. I know family time is important. There is a way that we can block out certain times. If you're having a family party or something special going on at your house, we can block out time so that nobody's coming through and disturbing you at that time. That's
How do I protect, how do I protect myself when I have all these great presents under the tree? How do I know that somebody's not going to get into them?
That's a great question too, Jim. Tell Santa Claus not to come till Christmas Eve.
How would you answer that?
Yeah,
So
Can I answer it myself?
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, we have on our key boxes, it gives us a computer readout of who actually went into the home. And so we can follow up with the other agent. If something turns up missing, that other agent is responsible for that. And so we're well protected with that. So there's traceability as to who was in there and exactly who would have taken it. Does that make you feel more comfortable?
Sometimes though, what if the people are already gone? What if they don't want to bring them back? You know what I mean? I haven't had too many problems with people stealing things over the years. In fact, I've only had one case over 30 years where someone's stolen something. But that second phrase has helped me so much over the years, and it is making the most money important to you? Because sometimes it's not. But if a seller, if making the most money is important to a seller, them not putting presents out under their tree when the showing's happening, whatever the case may be, they will do it if they feel like they're going to get more money for the home if they go this route.
Yeah, and right now we actually have the benefit of the interest rates going crazy and the property values dropping. So you might wait till springtime, you may lose $20,000 of value in your home.
Exactly. So when they ask you, so how do you handle the presents under the tree? You say, you may have to get some big garbage sacks, and when your home is shown, put them in the big garbage sacks, put them out of sight. If making more money on your home is important, would it make sense for you to do this for the showing if you were to make more money on your home selling it now versus later?
That's a good one. Or if they got a car, if they got a car there, they could lock them in the trunk.
Right.
Something like
And
that.
you constantly use that because they're motivated by the fact that they're going to make more money now versus waiting. Right?
That's a good one.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, I want to wait till after the holidays.
Handle that one, John, by just saying, if you were to make more money now, would it make sense to, pick up those presents, whatever, or however you want to say that.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that concern, Jim. What's important to you right now? What's more important to you? Making more money on your home right now, or safeguarding those presents under the tree?
Well, we need to get the most we can out of the home, obviously.
Okay, that's what I thought, and that's why I'm talking.
John,
What?
try to make them feel safe by, like for me, have you ever had anything stolen out of a house, Dawn?
Only once.
So maybe say that. Say, how many years you've been in real estate? I have had one incident where we've had something stolen. And what I would say is, if you have something of value under your tree, I would just say, don't leave it out. Put it away. Just don't leave something like that of value out. Or, if you're really worried about it, put the presents in garbage bags or put them in your trunk. But if you were to make more money, you know what I mean? So help them feel safe about it. You know what I mean? Because if you just disregard if that's one of their biggest concerns, you kind of try to address it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Go ahead and ask that again.
And what about the presents under my trees? I'm a little concerned about them being stolen if somebody comes through the house.
I can understand that and appreciate your concern about that. Jim, I've been selling real estate for about 33 years now, and all that time, I have only once ever had one seller say that they were missing something after a showing. So it's very, very unlikely that somebody's going to take something, a present from under your tree. However, I understand that concern. And so if there is something important or of great value that you have under your tree, I would safeguard that just the same as, if your wife has some fine jewelry, you're going to safeguard that. Or if you have a gun collection or any prescription medications, you're going to safeguard those things and not just have them out. So the same thing applies to the Christmas presents. If there's something of value, just take it with you, put it in your trunk of your car or hide it somewhere, take it to a relative's house or something during this time period. Do you think that's something you could do, Jim?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Okay, great, that sounds good. Could I come over maybe Saturday at 2 or Monday at 3 and talk to you about getting your home on the market?
I got one more question. Obviously, there's a lot of snow and mud out there. How do I protect my floors from getting it all grungy looking?
Okay.
And stuff all through my house.
Yes, I can understand that. You've spent all this time and money getting your house cleaned and ready to show, and then somebody tracks mud through the home. There's a couple of things we can do. We can either request that people take their shoes off once they enter the home, or if you'd like, we can supply the little shoe booties, those little booties that go over your shoes to help minimize any damage to your floors. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, that would make my wife happy.
Okay, well, it's all about making her happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could I come over Saturday at 2 or would Monday at 3 work better for you?
Why don't we do Monday?
Okay, we'll see you Monday at 3.
All right, thanks, Dawn.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, great.
That was good.
That was great, you guys. Hello, John. How are you doing?
Hi, good.
Good. John, do you want to be Jim's seller?
Sure.
You're again going to want to wait till the first of the year, And so, Jim, you're gonna be the
I didn't hear
agent.
what you said.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
So
what
you're,
was the objection?
so you're gonna just wanna wait till the first of the year,
Okay,
and Jim's gonna be the agent.
all right, sounds good.
All right, are you ready, Jim?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Go ahead, John.
You know, I think I wanna wait till the first of the year.
Are you
Kinda
aware of
maybe
the, John, are you aware of the benefits of listing your home right now?
benefits? No.
You do realize that, with your home being all pretty and decorated and everything, it shows very well. And you told me that you needed to be in California by February 1st, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we'd like to do, for sure, yeah. I mean, if we
Well,
had to
right,
move, if it a little bit later, I guess it'd be okay.
well, right now it could take 60 to 90 days to sell your house. So that would
Oh.
put you past your February 1st deadline. With that, do you want to have to move there and leave your family here so we can sell your house?
No, I don't wanna leave my family here, no.
Okay, so you can see the benefit of putting it in right now into the market and getting it sold, because there's actually less people looking right now, and the people that are actually looking are very motivated to buy, as opposed to waiting till after the first year when everybody else is doing the same thing and putting their house on the market at that time. So there's more competition. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're saying I'll get more money now than I would in January?
More money and more potential buyers.
Okay,
So why don't we go ahead? Which would be the best time to meet? Tomorrow at 4 or Saturday at 11?
let's do Saturday at 11.
All right, thank you. I'll look forward to seeing you.
Awesome.
Hey, perfect. Great job, Jim. How did that feel?
Good, that was fun.
Yeah, how does it, and can you see how knowing what to say just raises your confidence level?
I think it raises the confidence level of your sellers too.
Absolutely, for sure. That was awesome. And then I just wanted to put a little plug on just before, as soon as you set the appointment, make sure that you just at the very end, before I come out, at whatever time, I just have a couple more questions. Just to make sure, if there's those few more questions, like maybe you need to know just a little bit more about the house, or, those pre-qual questions. If you need to ask those few things, because a lot of times we'll say, we're gonna call back, or, whatever, to do those pre-qual questions, but sometimes we can't get a hold of the seller, or, we get off the phone and we're like, oh, we should have asked them that. We should have asked them if everybody was gonna be there. We should have asked them if the home's in the trust, because then we pull up the title and we see that it's in a trust. You know what I mean? Just those pre-qual questions will kind of ask all those things. Does that make sense?
Are you asking the pre-qual questions right after you've set the appointment on the call, or do you call when you call to confirm it?
You know what? I try to ask them right after, because a lot of times you can't get a hold of them. Because what
Okay.
happens is the wife or the husband or whoever comes home, and if you haven't maybe built enough value with them on the phone, or the pre-qual actually builds more value with the person you're on the phone with.
So they're more likely going to answer when you do call to confirm.
They will, and
Okay.
they'll actually fight for the appointment a little bit more with the person that hasn't talked to you yet. You'll actually get more appointments to stick the more questions that you ask. It'll actually build more rapport with them. It will build a lot. I mean, you'll have more appointments stick by doing that pre-qualification on the phone. And then you won't have to try to get a hold of them, and then you can't get the information to do a decent CMA or whatever you're trying to get information on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, sometimes they're not going to have time. And the reason why I don't have do you have time to answer a few more questions is because if you ask, they're going to say, no, can you call me back? So you're always going to assume they have more time. If you know they're kind of rushing, you're just going to say, hey, before I come out, I just have a quick few more questions. And you're going to ask just those few basic questions and you're gonna keep asking until they get off the phone. You're gonna
Okay.
assume they have more time until they actually say, I gotta get off right now, right? Because everybody's busy. Nobody has time. Everybody's busy right now. Like nobody that ever has any time. But if people are motivated enough, they will answer your questions. They really will if you're, you know, going through them and you're confident and you're doing it in a way that's moving them along and you're not taking a long time. And you're not trying to confront the answers. You're not trying to answer anything. You're just gathering information. So it should be a really quick process.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Garrett, are you participating today?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Awesome. So Garrett, will you be the seller first? So John's going to be the agent. Are you ready to go, John?
Yeah,
Okay. So you can either use the script off to the side or what we're, and you guys were not in the very beginning, but do you guys have the 2 sheets that came out that were, okay.
yes.
So one of them gives you the 12 reasons, and then the other one, or actually the 13 reasons, I keep getting them backwards. And then the 12 things are ways to handle the objection. So you can literally just use the one that has 12 ways. And so for instance, if Garrett says, I want to wait until the first of the year, you can literally just use number 1 to handle the objection. And then if he says something like, you know, there's not enough fires or whatever the reason is or importance, you can go to one of these others to like answer those objections or use the script off to the side. And we'll just kind of plow our way through.
Gotcha.
No pressure here, right?
Hey, which one are you talking about?
So we're just using the one that says 12 ways.
Is it in that packet?
And Garrett, all you're having to say to John is, I want to wait until the first of the year. So you're the seller,
Okay.
okay? So
Yeah.
you start us off, Garrett.
Oh, I want to wait until the spring.
Okay, so Garrett, you said you want to wait till the spring. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, what's important about waiting till spring?
Well, I just think the market would be better then, and I would be able to make the most amount of money.
So you want to wait till spring so you can get the most amount of money. So what I'm hearing you say is that you want to net the most amount of money possible. Is that correct?
You're right. Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome, awesome. So if we could get you the most amount of money possible and sell your home now versus waiting till the spring, would that be okay with you?
Yeah, whatever gets me the most amount of money, but I've always heard spring is better than the fall or winter.
Yeah, I mean, there's more homes that come on the market in the spring, but that also causes you to have more competition and actually brings prices down. You know, people who are looking for a home during the holiday season are serious buyers because they really need to buy. So why don't we do this? Why don't we make an appointment? Is Monday or Tuesday at 4 better? And I can go over all the reasons of what we could do to get your home sold now for the most money possible. Does Monday or Tuesday at 4 work?
We could do Monday.
Okay, let's do Monday at 4. And before I come out, there's some really important questions that I need to ask you, okay?
Okay.
And I would qualify you.
What'd you say?
Perfect.
And then I'd qualify you.
Oh, okay.
Great job, John. Awesome. All right, Garrett, are you ready?
Almost. I just barely pulled out the packet. Find the right page. What, it's the one that says 12 ways?
Yep, just pull up the one that says 12 ways. And then John will have you be his seller.
Okay.
And then there's no pressure here, Garrett. We're just gonna plow our way through here. So when he says he wants to wait until the first of the year or spring or whatever, can you see the script off to the side?
I can just see the one that's on the screen.
Yeah, you can use the one that's on the screen. Or
But
you
I
can
don't have the 12 ways. I don't know if I have that or not.
you can just
The
use the one
second
that's on the
page.
screen.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll just use the one on screen. So who's
And-
the seller? Dawn?
John's is the seller.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd really like to wait till the holidays are over before putting my home on the market.
Okay, so Dawn, I can appreciate that you are wanting to wait. What is so important to you about waiting? Is making the most money possible and getting your home sold important to you?
It is important to me, obviously, but my grandkids are going to be here from out of state for a couple of weeks, and I just think it's going to be a little chaotic trying to have people coming in and out of my home, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you were to make more now due to, let's say, less inventory or more serious buyers, would it make sense to just start the discussion now and go through the possibilities? And then once we get through those couple weeks where your grandchildren are here, we could really ramp up and get the process going. Are you available, let's say, today at 2 or 3?
Well, how do you have any stats on how much more I could make selling it now than waiting?
Yeah, we could go over all that during the appointment. It would just take, let's say, 15, 20 minutes. And then we would really be able to get the process going, just so you're not having to risk losing more money if you wait. Would we be able to do 2 or 3 today?
Yeah, today's not good. I probably really should talk to my wife too, because I know she's going to be baking and all this stuff, she's got all these activities planned with the grandkids.
Okay.
She's been waiting and waiting for them to come, so she's
Okay,
getting
and
excited.
what is your day tomorrow looking like?
Tomorrow's not great. Maybe I could just call you back on Monday.
Okay. Could we just let's pencil in 2 o'clock on Monday so I can plan on that, just so my schedule doesn't fill up. And then you can call me if you have any problems and we can reschedule from there. Does that work?
Yeah, you can pencil that in, just not
Okay.
sure. So
Okay, sounds good. And before I come out on Monday at 2, I have a few more questions.
okay.
I mean, Garrett, great job of being persistent.
I like
Man,
that. I like that 2 o'clock thing is like, I'm not gonna take no for an answer. We're setting an appointment. I like that. That was good. That was really good.
that was awesome, Garrett. If someone is really concerned during the holidays with all their activities, one of the things that you could say to them would be, we can block out showing times when, your wife has activities she's trying to, she's cooking with the grandkids, or like on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, when you have family over. We don't have to show it 24/7. If like with people, like especially how John was very adamant about his time at his house. So, that's somewhere where you could kind of go, where it's like, I understand you have those activities, but I also, how John kind of phrased it, what I hear you saying is that making the most money is important to you. So if we were to block out those really important time frames and then get your home sold before, the competition really set in, but then still, respect that time you have with your family during the holidays, wouldn't it make sense, for us to sit down for 30 minutes, kind of address their concern instead of trying to push so hard for the appointment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
So like I gave out those closes and those should be attached. If you guys don't have them, let me know. But it's things like, wouldn't it make sense? Would it be helpful? What if it were possible? So that we're taking their concerns, we're addressing their concerns, we're looking at their motivation. We're really looking, especially if making the most money is important to them. That's when, that asking that question and knowing that is the case we really can keep going back to that and saying, you know, yes, I respect the fact that your time is really important, and yes, we can address all those concerns for you. And, you know, what I hear you saying is that you want to make the most money. So I just want to make sure that you have the information that there are benefits to you selling now versus waiting. Does that make sense?
I'd like to get those
Yeah.
closes. I don't think I have them.
Okay,
Katie.
I'll have Aaron attach those again.
Okay, and I might have, maybe I just didn't see them, but if you maybe resend them, because I just want to make sure I have them.
And Jim, I'm going to give you my phone number so you can send me your email.
See my name on the front there?
And then if anybody,
Gmail.
and so tell me, is it just your name?
My name and Gmail, yeah. No caps.
Oh, so no dots or
Nope,
anything?
just Jim Buzowski at Gmail.
And if I had a pen, you know, one of those things. So Bezoski. And my pen's not working, so there you go. All right. So who would like another go at it?
I think I'm good. I actually have to get going. I got an appointment with Aaron here in about 5 minutes, so.
Okay, well, Jim, thank you for being on. That's
Hey,
great.
thank you. This was good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right, so John, do you want to give it another go? And I think what we'll do really quick is
Who?
contingency one, just to give everybody an idea of like, I need to find another home. Because really, truly, you can kind of turn the words, like if someone's saying, I want to wait till the interest rates go down, I want to wait until the market changes, I want to wait until, you know, you can almost, like any objection, you know, as long as you have kind of a response that, and you've got to be confident, and as long as you're confident and there's motivation, right? And as we move into this next market, you guys, the key is motivation. Before, we didn't have to have a lot of motivation. We just had to have a person saying, hey, I want to try out and see if I can get my home sold. And it's like, boom, we can sell your home. But now, you guys, we've got to have motivation. So this is where the pre-qual becomes more important. This is where asking more questions becomes more important. We can't just like assume that everyone's going to be like that seller that we can go out and just sell, because, you know, before we could just sell everybody because we got a listing, and now we've got to be cautious about it. Now we've got listings sitting there and we're not selling everything. And so now we've got to be more cautious about telling the sellers the truth. We got to be more cautious about asking more questions so that we do take listings that are selling, right? So this next part, I want to wait until I find another home before I list. This just kind of gives you a response for that, because so many of us are going out and spending so much time finding homes and just to have like just things sitting there, and then we can't get them to list their house, right? So again, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, is making the most amount of money important to you in this process? Because if we can get the motivation and we can get them to say that making the most amount of money is important, we can most likely they can usually see that getting their home sold first is at utmost importance to them in making the most money on both ends, right? So I want to wait to find another home before I list. I can appreciate you wanting to find another home first. Can I ask you, is getting the most amount of money in your pocket important in getting your home sold? Yes, great. If you were to make more on your home due to not being rushed by having a contingency on the home that you are trying to purchase, and then sell your home first, so you're able to purchase a home without a contingency on the other end, wouldn't it make sense to meet and discuss the different options for you in getting the most money possible on both ends by listing and selling your home first? Are you available to meet either today at 2 or tomorrow at 4, which is the best for you. So having a response, especially if there's motivation, especially if making the most amount of money is important to them. But they do have to have that motivation, right? Because we can't be afraid to tell the sellers, you know, these
The
things,
truth.
not waste the truth, and not go out and just because we've got an appointment, go out and just waste a lot of our time, right?
Katie, can you send that script, and also can you blow it up?
Yes. Can I blow it up on this screen? You're asking a lot, John, for right now, but oh, shoot. Can anybody see the script? Garrett, can you see it?
I can see it.
I'm asking the youngster.
Oh.
You can see it, John?
Yeah, I just put it on my phone and I just stretched it and blew it up.
Oh, hey, John, take a picture of it on your phone and then blow it up. All right, we probably have time for one person to go through this. And yes, I will send it out. I'll have Aaron send it out. It's just, I typed it up late last night. Yeah. Did I just ask somebody to do it? Who would like to go through it real quick?
I'll go through it.
Okay, perfect. And Garrett, will you be his seller?
Yeah, which one are we going through?
We're just gonna do you asking him that you wanna wait until you find another home before you list.
Okay. John, I want to wait until I find another home before I list.
Okay, so you want to wait to see if you can find another home before you put your home on the market. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Let me just ask you, what is important to you about waiting?
Are we doing that script, or are we doing the one on the bottom?
Oh, we're doing the contingency one on the bottom, John.
Oh, did I do the wrong one? Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I can appreciate that you're wanting to find a home. Can I ask you, is getting the most money in your pocket important in getting your home sold?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, great. If you were to make more money on your home due to not being rushed by having a contingency on the home, then you're trying to purchase and then selling your home first, so we're able to purchase a home without a contingency on the other end, would it make sense to meet and discuss different options for you getting the most money on both ends by listing and selling it first?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. But also I don't want to be kicked out of this house to find another without having another one to go into.
Now, there's a couple of things you could say is that, you know, first bring up the possibility of putting a longer close. Like you could put a 45 to 60 day close on the house. And right now with more inventory, that shouldn't be as big of a worry as it used to be, because there's more inventory for people to look at. You know, and if people are.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett, they're.
Okay. Sorry, John, if people are still worried, you could present the fact that you could put a contingency. You know, if they were really, really scared and they really felt like there would be nowhere to go, then as an agent, you would want to protect them by putting a contingency on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Garrett, there's several options that we can go over to protect you so that you don't, so you're not homeless when we sell the home. So what about this? What if we go over those options, you know, and I can assist you to feel comfortable with the whole process. Are you able to meet today at 4, tomorrow at 7?
Let's do 7 tomorrow.
All right, great. Before I come out, there's some real important questions I need to ask you, and then you'll get qualified.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And it's a really good thing to remember that we don't have to try to explain everything on the phone. It's something that I've learned the hard way over the years and Garrett did it really well when he role played, and John just did it. when someone asks you a question like that, don't be afraid to say, hey, that's exactly why we need to get together, so that I can go over those options to protect you. Like, use that as a reason to get together instead of trying to explain everything over the phone, right? That's what's gonna get you the appointment.
Yeah.
So, great job, you guys. Any questions?
I'm good.
Was this helpful?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, have a great week, and we just don't want to lose out to anybody that's thinking that it's better to sell after the first of the year and they just don't have the correct information. And we don't want any other agent swooping in and then saying, you know, well, why didn't Katie give me this information? Maybe I should go somewhere else, right? You know, maybe Katie's not the agent for me because she didn't tell me this. So maybe, and then we call them back after the first of the year and they've already listed and sold. And then we go into, you know, shock because it's like, well, they told me they weren't selling. So, you know, then we're mad at them and we don't realize because we weren't doing our job, right? We weren't giving them information that they needed. So.
For sure.
Yeah, have a great day and go talk to lots of people.
Okay, thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. See you later.